Have you ever felt like you are wandering through a maze of relationships? Or perhaps just struggling to find your own significance in the grand scheme of things? We often spend decades chasing the external status, validation, the perfect partner, forgetting that the answer we are desperately looking for has always been internal. Today, we are going to dive deep into the law of soul echo. It is an ancient principle, yet it remains a missing key to true peace and the kind of connection most men only dream of. In this hustle culture, we are constantly bombarded by noise. The noise of career demands, the noise of societal expectations, the noise of who you should be. But underneath all that chaos, there is another sound. It is quieter, it is subtle, but it is the source of your deepest hunger. It is the call of your own soul. It is that whisper that urges you toward fulfillment, deep connection, and a purpose larger than yourself. Can you feel it? It isn't a fleeting one. It is a persistent pull, like a river flowing inevitably toward the ocean. Imagine this, you are standing in the middle of a vast, dense forest. Surrounding you are countless well-worn paths. There is the path of money, the path of power, the path of quick pleasure. But deep down, there is another trail. It is overgrown with leaves, barely visible, and few men dare to take it, yet you feel a strange magnetic pull toward it. That is the path to your authentic self. It doesn't shout, it doesn't beg, it simply waits for you to get quiet enough to hear it. This call doesn't ask you to change who you are. It invites you to return to who you really are. When you finally stop and listen, you realize that the anxiety, the fear of rejection, the restlessness, these are just layers of dust covering that sacred call. They are echoes of your past, not the truth of your future. Ask yourself this. What is your soul trying to tell you right now? What actually makes you feel alive, not just busy? Take a deep breath. Close your eyes for a second, just feel it, and once you tune into that feeling, you trigger a powerful mechanism. This brings us to the core principle of our journey, the law of soul echo. The principle is simple but ruthless. Whatever seed you plant in the garden of your mind and emotions, that is exactly the fruit you will harvest in your reality. It is not about what you say to a woman or how you act in a meeting. It is about what you are vibrating from the core of your being. I remember a friend of mine, good man, successful, but he constantly complained that he couldn't find a genuine woman. He told me he did everything right, flowers, expensive dinners, the works, but he only attracted shallow, fleeting flings. One day, I asked him, when you give those gifts, what are you silently begging for inside? Are you giving love? Or are you paying for validation because you feel empty? He went silent. He realized that underneath the nice guy act, he was sowing seeds of insecurity and fear of abandonment, and so the world echoed that fear back to him. This is the mechanism of the echo. If you sow doubt, you harvest distrust. If you sow judgment, you harvest criticism. But if you sow compassion, understanding, and a genuine, non-needy love, you will eventually receive that in return. Think of it like shouting into a canyon. The canyon doesn't judge what you say. It just returns your own voice to you. Life is that canyon. So, look at your life. What seeds are you actually planting every day? What is the dominant emotion running in the background of your operating system? To understand what you are truly broadcasting, you have to stop broadcasting for a moment and start receiving. This leads us to the lost art of silent listening. We live in a loud world where everyone is talking, everyone is posting. But are you ever truly listening in the law of echo? Listening isn't just waiting for your turn to speak. It is the art of empty presence. It is listening with your intuition, not just your ears. Think of a stream flowing through a forest. It doesn't try to force its way through the rocks, it flows around them. It listens to the gravity, yielding yet powerful. In that surrender, it nourishes everything around it. We are the same. When you truly listen to a woman, or a friend, or even a rival, you stop listening to their words and start listening to their energy. You hear the fear behind their anger. You hear the hope behind their silence. That is where real connection happens. I once met an old mentor, a man who lived a very solitary, peaceful life. He told me, most men listen to defend themselves or to fix a problem. But when you listen with an empty mind, no judgment, no agenda, you hear the truth. That changed everything for me. But the hardest person to listen to is yourself. Do you ever stop to hear your own inner voice? Instead of numbing your negative emotions with distractions, invite them in. Sit with them like an old friend. You will find that behind every negative emotion is a message your soul is trying to deliver. Try this next time you are in a conversation. Don't plan your response, just be there, be a mirror. See what changes. But listening goes beyond just words or even silence. There is a deeper language that governs every interaction, the language of energy. When two people secretly want each other, the world might not hear it, but the energy screams it. It is that invisible magnetism, a field of static electricity that pulls you towards someone without a logical reason. Both modern psychology and ancient Eastern philosophy agree on this. We are energetic beings first, physical beings second. According to Zen philosophy, your presence carries a field. When two compatible fields meet, they create a resonance. You feel it in your gut. You might feel a sudden rush of adrenaline, a nervous excitement, or a profound, unexplainable sense of peace when they are near. This happens before a single word is spoken. Think about those moments when you walk into a room and you just know someone is there, or when you look at them and your heartbeat syncs up with theirs. You find yourselves mirroring each other, same posture, same tone, same rhythm. That isn't a coincidence. That is biology responding to energy. It is a silent agreement between two souls that says, I see you. I recognize you. The problem is, we are taught to ignore this. We are taught to trust only logic. But if you want to master relationships, you must learn to trust your intuition. If you feel a strong pull, a sudden warmth, or a tension that feels like a loaded spring, pay attention. The universe is communicating with you. Have you felt this? And more importantly, are you brave enough to trust it? Yet, when we finally admit we feel this powerful connection, especially in romance, a primal fear usually kicks in, the fear of truth. We are terrified to admit what we feel because we are terrified of losing what we have. We call it not wanting to ruin the friendship, but often it is just the ego protecting itself from rejection. The Stoics had a principle: focus only on what you can control. You cannot control how she feels. You cannot control the outcome, but you can control your own character. You can control your courage. Fear is an illusion that magnifies risk and hides opportunity. Think of the ancient warrior. He isn't fearless, he is terrified. But he charges forward anyway because his mission matters more than his fear. In relationships, courage isn't about grand gestures. It is a quiet bravery to speak your truth. I had a client, a successful CEO, who lived with the regret of never telling his best friend he loved her. He played it safe. She eventually married someone else. He told me the pain of what if was infinitely heavier than the pain of rejection ever could have been. The lesson is simple. The cost of inaction is always higher than the cost of truth. When you face the truth, you free yourself. Even if the answer is no, you have gained something priceless: integrity. You stop hiding, you align with your soul. What fear is holding you back right now? And what would happen if you just let go and jumped? And when you do take that leap, when two souls truly resonate, you stop performing for the world and start building a unique world of your own. A private sanctuary woven from small secrets, inside jokes that make no sense to anyone else, and a level of trust that feels ancient. Imagine a Japanese Zen garden. Every rock, every stream, every moss patch is placed with intention to create harmony. It is enclosed, sacred, and distinct from the chaos outside. That is what a true connection looks like. You create an emotional garden together. In this space, you drop the armor. You share the dreams you are too embarrassed to tell your buddies. You share the fears that keep you up at night. You develop a shorthand language. A look across the room says 1,000 words. A simple touch on the arm conveys a novel of comfort. These are emotional fingerprints. They mark the territory of your bond. This isn't about possession. It is about cherishing a rare frequency. When you are in this unique world, you feel completely seen. You don't have to perform. You don't have to impress. You just have to be. Are you building this kind of sanctuary? Or are you still standing at the gates? Ultimately, building this sanctuary does something to a man. It shifts his focus from the ego, which demands, takes, and keeps score, to a state of unconditional love. This is the ultimate transformation. When you listen to your soul, when you plant seeds of truth, when you face your fears, you eventually transcend any EDINESS. In Buddhism, this is called metta, or loving kindness. It is a love that radiates like the sun. It shines on everything, not because the world deserves it, but because that is what the sun is when you reach the stage. You don't love her so she will love you back. You love her because you are love. Imagine a perfectly still lake. If you throw a pebble in, the ripples expand outward, touching everything on the shore, and then they bounce back to the center. When you become a source of unconditional love, you send out ripples that heal not just your relationship, but everyone you come into contact with. This is the hardest work a man can do. It requires dropping the entitlement, but the reward is total freedom. When you no longer need validation to feel whole, you become magnetic in a way that techniques and pickup lines can never achieve. You attract the right people because you are finally vibrating at the frequency of truth. The question is no longer, does she like me? The question becomes, am I living in a way that honors my own capacity to love? Now, you can't just understand this intellectually, you have to feel it biologically. Let's make this practical. Find a quiet space, sit up straight, close your eyes. Take a deep breath in, filling your lungs completely. As you exhale, Release the tension in your shoulders, the anxiety in your chest, the need to be right. Keep breathing deeply with every inhale. Imagine you are breathing in pure light, compassion, and peace with every exhale. Let that light flood every cell of your body now. Bring to mind someone you love easily, maybe a child, a parent, or even a loyal dog. Feel that warmth in your chest. As you breathe out, send that love to them, expecting nothing in return. Just give it now. Expand that circle. Think of yourself, yes, you, the parts of you that you judge, the failures, the flaws. Breathe in compassion for yourself. Breathe out forgiveness. You are human. You are learning. Wrap your own heart in that warmth. Stay in this feeling. If these words stirred something in you today, know that it is not an accident. It is the echo. Do not doubt the depth of your feelings. Do not dismiss. The chemistry is imagination, sometimes. The only reason two people haven't spoken the words is because the connection is so sacred. They are afraid to break the spell. But the truth is already there. It's in the eyes, it's in the energy, it's in the silence. Thank you for watching Psychology of Desire. If this video woke something up inside you, subscribe, like, and share this with a brother who needs to hear it. Remember, the most important journey you will ever take is a journey back to yourself. I'll see you in the next one.